Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. And today I am talking about a first impressions of a Christopher Ward watch. A watch that I've been wanting to try for some time, or at least a brand that I've wanted to try for some time. And it's a brand that there's been so many watches within their range that I've really wanted to try for some time. But this one I think is something a little bit special. It's one of their sort of new release watches. It's the C60 Trident Pro 300. And I think they may have got it right. And I think they may have got it right because one of the things that stands out to me so much about this watch is that it is almost a perfect watch. And I don't say that too often. I come across watches that I absolutely love, but they're not always perfect. This one, I'm struggling to find any faults with it. This one, the vibe that I get is, this could be a one watch collection type watch. If I was stuck having to only have one watch in my collection, this one might be it. And I'm really excited to share it with you in the first impressions video, as I usually do with watches, just to give my first initial thoughts, what really stands out to me as I take it out of the box, once I've only had it in hand for a short period of time. And of course, as always, I'll then do a full review in a couple of months. But let's check out this Trident Pro 300 C60 Christopher Ward. All right, let's flip the camera and let's have a look. So I have to say I am very, very excited to have one of these in hand, and there's three things that stood out to me immediately. And I know packaging, which is the first thing that has stood out to me, is not the reason why we buy watches. However, this is super, super impressive. I've seen so many reviews and unboxings of Christopher Wards before, and I've thought, oh yeah, that's very nice packaging. But it's really nice. It's in fact, it's better than almost any other packaging I've ever sort of experienced. We've got sort of bamboo here, a nice sort of like a cardboard, but oh yeah, that's really beautifully fit in. It's like that sort of vacuum sort of feel. It's that sort of, fitted so well. Oh, it's just a nice feeling. Okay, maybe we'll stop talking about that. In here, we've got some more information about the Trident, etc. But of course, we're here to see the watch, and I've got my spare links to set up in there. And wow, is it presented well, but wow, is it nice. So number one, packaging. Yes, okay, I understand it's not the main thing to buy a watch, but it is quite nice to have it arrive in nice packaging. And the number two thing that has stood out to me as soon as I pulled this out of the packaging was the feel of it. Wow, this watch feels good. I can tell you right now, if I closed my eyes and just felt the watch like this, had a bit of a feel, I would think that I'm holding a $10,000 to $15,000 watch. Not a watch that cost 1,420 Australian dollars. A lot more. I've felt much, much, much more expensive watches in hand that felt worse than this one. It is absolutely amazing the way this one feels. And the third thing that stood out to me, well, it was quite an interesting thing to stand out to me because I had a quick look over this watch, I stuck it on wrist, and I had a feel from it. A feeling from this watch that I have not really had from any other watch. And that is that if I was only to have one watch in my collection, and yes, that's not going to happen, but if I was only to have one watch in my collection, this would be the perfect one watch collection because it's so good. It looks great. Everything about it is great. It fits well. It feels nice. The price is not cheap, but it's not super expensive either. It's a black dial diver, which I've always thought if I was ever to have just one watch, it would have to be a black dial diver because it goes in so many different situations. But the quality is absolutely outstanding, and the on-wrist experience is also beautiful. So that's the third thing, that this, I think, is almost a perfect watch. Okay. Perfect watch is hard to say, and it's also a little bit subjective, but yeah, this is as close to it as I've ever experienced. But let's get into some details about it, because not only is it a good looking watch, it is really well finished and it has some wow factor, and I'm really appreciating watches with a few little wow factors. So we've got a nice sort of glossy black or piano black dial, which I do like that. I like the shadow play or the reflections from the hands. That cool little trident sort of counterbalance on the second hand. Nice long hands, which I do appreciate. Color matched date wheel at the 6. Love it being colour matched, love it being at the 6 o'clock. Applied indices, we've got that new Christopher Ward logo there, which I think we're all sort of appreciating. I didn't mind the older style with Christopher Ward written there. However, I do prefer this, and I prefer the sort of symmetry of it being placed at the 12 o'clock as well. And check out this bezel. There is an internal sort of solid bezel that's made out of steel and it doesn't move. And then we've got this slightly thinner sort of outer bezel, which then obviously moves. And wow, the bezel action is stunning. It's not too heavy, not too light, has that slightly muted sound. Reminds me a little bit of a Seiko, which I love the Seiko action on bezels. And alignment, unlike a Seiko, is absolutely perfect. See how that inner rotating part or non-rotating part stays solid, and then we've got the outer. Oh, I really like that. It's a nice little feature that sort of looks really cool, but also is a bit functional as well. Nice and easy to grip, really cool. Has a mixture of surfaces as we go around the case, and check out the case profile of this watch. Wow, the other side is probably going to show it off better. Yeah, look at that. So we've got obviously the brushed on the top, chamfered edge, nice sort of satinized brushing, and then an undercut. And check out the undercut. Let's see if I can try and show it off for you properly, because it's not just an undercut. It's like it sort of goes down and then cuts away. It's sort of I don't know, it's just a lovely shape. I'll try and let me line it up, and I'll zoom in just to show you that. See, it's a little bit different. It's not just a cutaway, it's like a really interesting cutaway. Kind of reminds me of my old Seiko Saab 033, except for that was on the top of the case. This is sort of underneath the case. The bracelet is absolutely incredible. Just you close your eyes and you feel that, and you think, oh my God, that's a luxury watch in your hands. It's just beautifully well presented, fits well, feels nice. You know when you get a really good quality watch and you just feel it, especially bracelets, you just notice a real difference in quality. Solid end links that don't move at all. We have a fully milled clasp, as you can see. It's quite a big clasp. I'm actually okay with that. It sort of looks nice. I like the new Christopher Ward logo there as well. It's not that new, but it's being sort of utilized. Milled, and inside there we can see there's a on-the-fly adjustment, which is really nice. And what I do like about this style of on-the-fly adjustment is that you can see that the links of the bracelet that go in there are actually all the bracelet. So as you move it in and out, all you see is the bracelet moving in and out. It's not like a different weird little chunk on the edge, which I've had in other watches. Display case back showing off a beautiful movement. Yeah, what a pretty watch. I am going to enjoy this one, and I'm looking forward to doing a full review, because it's probably going to be one of those longer in-depth reviews, because there's going to be a lot to talk about. And on wrist, as you would expect, beautiful. Now, I believe this watch comes in 3 different sizes, a 38, a 40, and a 41 or a 42. This is the 40mm. This is the perfect size for me. I think it sits beautifully on wrist. It's a lovely experience. I'm sure I would have liked the bigger one as well, but this is the pick of the bunch for me for my 6 3/4 inch wrist. What a stunning piece of engineering. Wow, Christopher Ward, you've done an amazing watch, and now I understand fully why so many people say so many good things about these watches. But as always, guys, I'm going to be having this one on wrist for some time before I do that full in-depth review. I'm going to do a lot of talking about this one, so it may be a little while before I get to the full review, and I have absolutely no doubt that this one is going to pop up in a few other videos whenever I'm talking about value for money or amazing watches or grail watches or affordable grail watches. This one's going to start popping up, I have absolutely no doubt. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope to see you in the next video.